Well, the first place that I heard the Island Marie would have been out in Seala's bar. Seala's was in Powladuff, and it was a great sporting bar. You know, like the drag hunts used to start not very far from the bar itself, which would be the Cork Nationals Harrier Club. And then you had the bowl players where the score would just start 50 yards ahead of Seala's pub, you know. So, but then as time moved, you know, it was also, of course, a place where the Holy Hour, what's called the Holy Hour in Cork, operated. And that was like, but the pubs used to close in Cork at 2 o'clock or 2:30 maybe. And they wouldn't reopen then again until 4 o'clock. But Seala's, they did the Holy Hour, but it's just outside the borough, I think, you know, at the time. So, you know, it became very popular. Fellas would be having a few pints, like in the morning, and, you know, they may not have had enough, so they'd go to Seala's for the Holy Hour then, you know. And, but as time moved on then, like singing, there was always sing songs there, but then they used to be, organised music, ballad sessions and stuff like that, you know. So I got a job there myself. You know, I'm trying to remember what the money was at the time. But it was a great pub, really, you know, great people going there. But so then there was, you know, so the setup then was like that I might sing like for an hour or maybe less than an hour, and then it would be a sing song after that. So I'd be calling singers up to sing, you know. And there were some great singers there, you know. But one man in particular stood out, his name was Mickey Caulfield. He was known as the Chanter, you know. And he had some great songs, you know. He was from the north side of the city. And he had all these sporting songs and stuff like that, you know. But he had this song, he used to sing this song called The Isle of Marie. And I didn't know much about it at the time, really, that time, you know, when he used to sing it. Only it was a lovely, lovely song, you know. And he had a fantastic voice. But then the day came then, of course, when I wanted to do a bit of recording myself, you know. And that was always in the back of my mind, that I'd record that song. And it was actually the first song that I ever did a demo, what's called a demo. I did a demo on that way back, you know, in the 70s. And so there used to be the pirate stations around at the time, you know. So the pirate station started to play it and stuff like that, you know. And a good friend of mine, his name I can't remember, God be good to him, he's passed on, you know. But so he used to play it a lot, and it became popular in Cork, really, you know. But then as time moved on again, I was doing a proper recording. You know, I got some good musicians. Actually, on the recording, the first demo, I think it was Ono Ravig played the pipes, you know, and that was, the recording was done down in Ty Kelleher's. But as time moved on, then I recorded it in the studio for a CD that I was doing at the time, you know. And so I wasn't very sure of the words, you know, so I had to call an old friend of mine, Tom Ruby, and he wrote out the words of the song for me. And then I recorded it, and, you know, it became popular after that, and got a good bit of airplay, stuff like that, you know. And a lot of airplay, of course, in America, you know. But then as I had looked into the history of the song, the history of that song, it was recorded way back by one of the great folk singers of the 40s and 50s, Burl Ives. Yeah, he recorded it way back, and it was known as The Lass from Mohi. You know, you can look all these things up now, of course, and the archives and stuff like that. So it was called that at the time. But it was always in my head, it's always known as the Isle of Marie, you know. And I wasn't too sure, how, you know, Marie was spelled. It certainly wouldn't have been M-A-R-I-E, like the lady's name or anything like that. So just probably a little island, you know, it's probably Second World War song, really, you know. So that was one of my favorite songs. Became one of my favorite songs, you know. And so I've kind of spread the gospel a little bit about that song in America as well, then, you know. Came from America over to Ireland, and went from Ireland back to America again, you know. So that's the story of the Island Marie. So this, folks, is a song that I learned from the singing of Mickey Caulfield in Seala's Bar in Portlaoise, probably like in the 70s. And Mickey was a great singer and introduced me to a lot of songs, really, you know. So it's a special tribute to Mickey Caulfield.
One day while out walking on a far distant land, I went into an alehouse for a half hour to pass. And as I sat down with my smoke and my glass, who should come in but a young Indian lass? Well, she sat down beside me and she gave me her hand, saying, "You man, you're a stranger, you're not one of my clan. But if you'd be contented for to stroll along with me, I will teach you the language of the Isle of Marie." Oh no, my fair maiden, this just cannot be, for I have my own true love in my own country. To deceive her I would never, for I know she loves me. I will not marry the lass from Marie. The last time I met her was down by the strand, where she sighed and she kissed me and she gave me her hand, saying, "If you will return to the one you adore, will you think of the Indian you left on the shore?" And when I arrived in my own country, all my friends and relations were there to greet me. But my love had deceived me, no more she loved me. I'll go back and I'll marry the lass from Marie. I'll go back and I'll marry the lass from Marie.
So my dad was a great singer. He was born 1901, and he spent a lot of time in England, and like during the war and stuff like that. And you know, I was youngest of 10. But as time moved on, like, and when he sort of settled in Douglas then again, you know, when he stopped like going away for whatever it was, a year, 2 years or whatever, and then like to sort of the 50s, and he worked in the woolen mills then up in Donnybrook and Douglas, and. But then, as I say, like as time moved on, and then there used to be weddings and stuff like that in the family, and probably some funerals as well, you know. But he was the one like that would always be asked to sing a song, you know. And he had some brilliant songs, like, you know. And as I say, the first one, Paddy gave us a song there, you know, Donie Carroll. And of course, he loved to sing, like, he really loved to sing. He never took much encouragement. You never had to give him much encouragement, you know. And so he's, you know, he had some great songs. And you know, and then like in the year 2000, he passed on. But of course, like going back that time, you certainly wouldn't be getting a tape recorder to hear your father sing, you know. Where I came from anyway, especially, you know, you wouldn't be into nothing as iPhones or nothing like that, like. So the song was sung and that was it. And just forgotten about maybe till the next celebration or whatever it would be, whether it would be after a match or whatever, you know. And because that time, going back to that time, like there was no singing in pubs that time really as such, you know. It would be like at a special event, like which would be a wedding or a funeral. And I suppose at some funerals, like singing would be kind of frowned on, like, you know. But in our family, like they always probably wanted to give somebody a good send off, so there would always be a couple of songs sung, like, and as I say, my dad would always be the first to be asked, like, and so he used to sing this song called First World War song called "Till We Meet Again," and so as time moved on and I started recording myself, you know, I had to go to the archives because nobody in the family had sort of monitored that or kept the words of it or anything like that, you know. So I went to the archives and looked up the song, and the man that I heard recording it in the archives, a man by the name of Henry Burr, recorded like hundreds upon hundreds of songs, fantastic tenor, like, you know. But as I say, my own dad, like, was a fantastic singer, like, you know. I always regretted not being able to tell people, like, this is the way he sounded, you know. But maybe someday I might come across some kind of a recording from a wedding way back or something like that, you know. But it was a First World War song, and so I got the words of the song then eventually in the archives, and as I say, it was for a recording myself then that I was doing, and so anyway, this is a song called "Till We Meet Again," and I'm going to dedicate it to my own father, Donie Carroll from Douglas.
There's a song in the land of the lily each sweetheart has heard with a sigh. Over high garden walls the sweet echo falls as a soldier by whispers goodbye. Smile the while you kiss me sad adieu. When the clouds roll by I'll come to you. Then the skies will sing more blue. Down in Lover's Lane my dearie wedding bells will ring so merrily. Every tear will be a memory. So wait and pray each night for of a teardrop. Hello means the birth of a smile, and a smile will erase the tear-blighting trace when we meet in the sweet by and by. Smile a while, you'll kiss me sad adieu. When the clouds roll by, I'll come to you. Then the skies will seem more blue. Down in Lover's Lane, my dearie, wedding bells will ring so merrily. Every tear will be a memory. So wait and pray each night for me till we meet again.
Even as a child, like I always remember singing, like, you know. I think maybe from the very start, even unknowns to myself, like when I was a kid, I was into acoustics because I knew for some reason like that we had an outdoor toilet, you know, and so I knew like that I kind of sounded better like inside in the toilet. And I'd sing to me heart's content in the toilet, like, you know. I knew it sounded better, you know. So maybe I was way ahead of my time when I got to acoustics or something, you know. You know, I remember singing my very first song, like, you know, it was at Christmas time, and there was it's a bit of a sing song at home, like, you know, brothers having a few bottles of stout and stuff like that, you know, and so that was 1957, maybe 57, around that time. And Harry Belafonte had a song in the charts at the time called Mary's Boy Child. So I got to learn that, and then I think this my mother mentioned something about it. Do you know any songs or something like that? So I sang that song, and the funny thing, like, is that many years after, like over in America, you know, I sang it at I used to sing it like at the Irish Arts Centre for their Christmas show, you know, the Irish Christmas, and talk about it and stuff like that, you know. But as you know, as time moved on, and I kind of learned so many songs at the time, like, you know, as you know, when I became a teenager and stuff like that, and then of course it was the early '60s, and the ballad boom started, like, in Ireland, and I was first interested in it, really, like, you know. Of course, the Clancy brothers were around that time, and you know, the American folk singers like Bob Dylan and all these people, and you know, it became more the Johnsons in Ireland and stuff like that, you know. So I wanted to learn every song, like, you know. But that time you couldn't be looking up Google or anything like that, you know, to get the words of a song. I think I joined fan clubs at the time, you know. Of course, the big thing that you wouldn't miss at the time was that magazine, Ireland's Own. You know, they would print maybe roughly about six songs. Well, they always wouldn't suit you, like, you know, but you'd always get a few songs out of that, like, you know. So my repertoire was kind of growing, you know. And the other way then you got to learn the song was like, you'd actually buy a record, like, that time, you know, a 45, just to get the words of it, like, you know, play it, you know. And then, of course, you'd ask people as well, like, if they had, you might ask them to write out the words of a song for you, or people might ask you to write out the words of a song. So that's how the collection, that's how you got your collection of songs, like, that time, you know. Then I bought a guitar. My first guitar up in Crowley's in Merchant's Quay. And I think it was about 14 pounds. It was an Egmont guitar, you know. There was a little curve, a slight little curve on the fretboard, and I didn't take any notice of that at the time, you know. I think probably the price is what I was interested at the time, you know. And I don't remember whether I got it by the week or what, you know, because that time you get a suit like in Burton's for £5 a week or maybe £10 a week or something like that, you know. So everything was on the never. But I can't remember if I paid for it all or whether I got it by the week. But anyway, I got it, and then the man up there, he started playing like a Martin Durkin and the guitar for me, like, you know. And so eventually I brought the guitar home, and then I bought a book. I bought a book there as well, a book by the name of Guitar by Dan Morgan. That was the name of the book. And so I learned, the first song I learned and from the book was On Top of Old Smoky. And I was probably about maybe 17 or 17, maybe 18 that time, you know. Of course, I'm working at that stage then, like, and I was a man, like, and full-time employment and stuff like that, you know. But so then, as I say, like, then I found out about fellas then, like, from Douglas who were playing, like, you know. One of them, of course, like, was a guy we all looked up to, like, at the time, Tom Orr, the big beard, like, you know. And he was, like, kind of dog rough, you know. And he was singing all these songs, like, in Dublin accents and the whole lot, like, you know. Because most of us wanted to be able to sing like the Dubliners, you know. That's the truth, like, you know. That's the way we wanted to be portrayed as, like, ballad singers. But so I learned lots of songs then, like, and then, you know, I got a job playing in a bar. The scene was kind of opening up at that time then as well. Bridgie Halloran's in Ballygarvan. That was, that probably introduced all of us, like, to the ballad scene. And I played there with Tom Orden and Liam Beale, a three-piece. So there's me and Tom Moore playing guitar and Liam singing, you know. He had all these songs, like, you know, Run Out of Fox and all these type songs, you know. And the three of us used to sing, you know. I can't remember what money we used to get. I know it was a 30 bob each, or 30 bob for the three of us, and a couple of pints then as well, like, you know. And that would be on a Sunday night. So that was my first introduction to the gigging. Well, there wasn't many sessions at the time. Probably at that time, like, probably one of the most famous ones would have been the O'Donnell folk used to play in a place called Tullagrana House down in Carricktool there, you know. And I used to go there, like, a lot, quite a lot, like, you know, when you'd have the money, like, you know, price of a couple of pints and listen. And there then I heard, like, more kind of more folky type songs, like, you know, like Mary Hamilton and all those type songs, and probably a bit more obscure songs that I was used to myself, like, you know. So these guys were, you know, kind of looked up to these guys really, because they were a lot more classier, like, than sort of what I felt myself, what we were doing, like, you know. And but there wasn't many places at all, really, like. But, like, with regard to singing, like, I mean, I was very much involved in sport myself, you know, especially the drag hunting, like, because drag hunting, like, is very well associated with sing-songs and stuff like that, like, and you know, and the hunting songs and all type stuff like that. Like, one of my favorite songs, like, would be John Peel, and would have been John Peel, and that's where I heard it for the very first time. Like, I heard it, like, on the back of a lorry. A local man from Douglas was singing it, like, you know. But it kind of stayed in my head, like. That would have been probably about 1965, around that time. But that song stayed in my head until, again, as I say, like, later on when I started recording myself, because it you know, it was a great memory for me, really, like, you know. That's you know, that was the scene at the time. But I was in the thick of it. So one of the songs, actually, that I used to sing that time was a song called Come to the Bower. And you know, great ballad. And the funny thing is that I still sing it today, like, you know, and the way I learned it then, like, you know, because everything was kind of simplified that time, like, you know, chords, you know, 3 chords, of course. You could sing hundreds of ballads that time if you could play a couple of chords, you know. And I still kind of play it the same way today as I did then, you know. I can't remember really who I kind of learned it from, you know. But it's still one of my favorites, and from time to time there I might do, you know, over in America I might do an old sort of workshops and stuff like that on ballads of the 60s, and this is a song that I would always include. And what the song is about basically is just a call to arms, really, like of you know, the people who are out foreign, and you know, it's just a call to them to come back and help out our country, like in troubled times in around 1916. And so this is a song called Come to the Bower.
Will you come to the bower or the free boundless ocean, where the stupendous waves roll in thunder and motion, where the mermaids are seen and the fierce tempest gathers to lord there in the green, the dear land of our fathers? Will you come? Will you come to the bower? Will you come to the land of O'Neill and O'Donnell, of Lord Luke and the Bull and the immortal O'Connell, where King Brian drove the Danes and St. Patrick the Vermin, and his valleys remain still most beautiful and charming? Will you come? Will you come to the bower? You can visit Benport and the story Blackwater, where Owen Rowan met Monroe and his chieftain to slaughter, where the lambs ship and lay on the mossy all over, from the bright golden dews to enchanting Rostrevor. Will you come? Will you come to the bower? You can visit New Ross, gallant Wexford and Rory, where the green was last seen by proud Saxon and Tory, where the air is sanctified by the blood of each Roman, where the died satisfied their enemies would not run from. Will you come? Will you come to the bower? You can see Dublin City and the pine groves of Blarney, the band behind the Liffey, the lakes of Killarney. You can ride on the tide on the broad majestic Shannon. You can sail around Loch Ness and see Story Dungannon. Will you come? Will you come to the bower? Will you come and awake our lost land from its slumber? And our fetters will break, things that long are encumbered, and the air will resound with Hosanna